If you want to see our previous videos, then click the channel name or picture below the video, then go to the video or playlist option. This is Bori Critical Mahabharat book section 13, Draupadi Vivah Parva, Draupadi Marriage Parva or Vaivahika Parva, chapter 186. The messenger said, because of the wedding, King Drupada has prepared a good feast for the bridegroom's party. Press the red subscribe option and press the bell icon for my latest video updates. Come here with Krishna after finishing the daily rituals. Do not delay. These chariots adorned with golden lotuses and drawn by excellent horses, the worthy of being ridden by those who rule the earth, ascending on them. All of you come swiftly to the palace of the king of Panchala. Vesampayana said when he left all the bulls among the Kurus, sent the priest on ahead of them, placing Kunti and Krishna on one chariot. They ascended those great chariots and left, O king, O descendant of the birthday lineage, having heard from the priest the words of Dharmaraja, he kept ready a large collection of things like fruits, sanctified garlands, shields, armor, sheep, cattle, ropes, and other objects used in agriculture to determine the nature of the Kurus. The king also completely provided for all objects uh, concerning other crafts and all articles all article used in sports, chariots, horse, armor that were shining, great sword adorned horses and chariots, the best of bows and the choicest of arrows and spears and lances, lagged with gold, javelins, catapults, and battle axes, all instruments connected with war. There were beds and seats and many other objects of craftsmanship. Taking the righteous Krishna with her, Kunti entered the inner quarters of Drupada. The ladies worshipped the wife of the king of the Kauravas eagerly, O king. On seeing those chief among men with eyes like those of powerful bulls, dressed in their skin for upper garments with broad shoulders and long arms that were like coiled snakes with the gait of lions, the king, the king's advisers, the king's sons, and the king's relatives and attendants were then extremely delighted without hesitation or surprise, whose warriors then seated themselves on the best of seats with separate footstools, one after another. They sat according to age. Well dressed male and female servants and skilled cooks brought all types of food worthy of kings in plates made of gold and silver. Having eaten, those foremost among men were pleased and relaxed. They examined all the objects that were laid out, and the warriors showed the most interest in the various implements of war. On seeing this, Drupada's son, the king himself, and all his chief advisers were delighted at having realized that the sons of Kunti were the sons and grandsons of kings. They paid their respects. Vasampana said, then the greatly radiant king of Panchala spoke to Prince Yudhishthira in the form that is reserved for Brahmanas and cheerfully asked Kunti's son, should we know you as Kshatriyas or Brahmanas? Are you accomplished Vaishyas or are you born from the wombs of Shudras? Are you Siddhas who use their powers of Maya to roam in all directions and have come here from heaven in search of Krishna? O Lord, tell us the truth, because we are in great doubt. Will our hearts not be content when our doubts have been removed. O scorcher of enemies, will our share of faith prove to be fortunate from your heart? Tell us the truth. Among kings, truthfulness is a better adornment than sacrifices and alms. Therefore, do not say that which is untrue or destroyer of enemies, O you who are the equal of the gods. After hearing your reply, I will then make arrangement for the marriage according to what is proper. Yudhishthira replied, O king of Panchala, do not be disheartened, be happy. There is no doubt that your wishes have come true, O king. We are Kshatriyas and sons of the great Shol Pandu. Know me to be the eldest of Kunti's sons. These are Bhimsena and Arjuna, O king. Your daughter was owned by this in an assemblage of kings, O king of kings. The twins are waiting there, Nakul Sadev, where Krishna is. O bull among kings, let all sorrow be dispelled from your heart. We are Kshatriyas like a lotus. Your daughter has been transplanted from one pound to another. O great king, this is the truth that I have told you. You are like our preceptor and our main refuge. On hearing this, King Drupada's eyes brimmed over with joy. For some time he could not answer Yudhishthira properly, controlling his delight with great effort. The king, the conqueror of enemies, spoke to Yudhishthira in the appropriate form. The one with virtue in his heart asked how they had escaped from that city. The Pandava narrated it in details. From the beginning, on hearing the narration from Kunti's son, the king Drupada uh, censured Dhritarashtra, that ruler of men. Drupada, chief among all men who are eloquent, gave every assurance to Kunti's son Yudhishthira and vowed that he would restore him to his kingdom. On the king's invitation, Kunti, Krishna, Bhimsena, Arjuna, and the twins took up residence in that great palace, O king. They continued to live there, treated with every respect by Yagnasena. Later, the king and his sons spoke to those who had been reassured. Drupada said, let the mighty armed son of Kuru today accept my daughter's hand in accordance with the prescribed rites. Today, the moment in an auspicious one. On this, the righteous soul Yudhishthira replied, O Lord of people, then I too must take a wife. Drupada said, O Lord, O warrior, then you accept my daughter's hand in accordance with the rites, or give Krishna in marriage to whomsoever you wish. Yudhishthira replied, O king, Draupadi will be the queen to all of us. O lord of the people, this is what has already been ordered by my mother. I am yet unmarried, and so is the Pandava Bhimsena. Your jewels of a daughter has been owned by Partha. O king, it is our rule that every jewel will obtained must be equally shared. O best of kings, we are not willing to break that rule now. According to the prescribed norms, Krishna will be the wedded queen of all of us according to age. Let her accept our hands one after another before the fire. Drupada said, O descendant of the Kuru lineage, it has been decreed that one man may have many queens, but we have never heard that one woman can have many men. O son of Kunti, pure as you are and well acquainted with the path of dharma, you should not commit an act that is counter of dharma, the Vedas and usual practice. Why has your intelligence become thus? Yudhishthira replied, O great king, subtle is the path of dharma. We do not know its direction. Let us therefore follow the path that was trodden by illustrious men in ancient times. My tongue never utters that which is untrue, nor has my mind ever turned to that which is adharma. This has been commanded by our mother, and my mind also approved of it. O king, this is certainly dharma. Therefore, act accordingly without hesitation, O ruler of the earth. Do not have any doubt on this score. Drupada said, O son of Kunti, you yourself, my son Drishtidumna and Kunti, must settle among yourselves what should be done now. Tomorrow I will do what which is proper, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, O king. At that, those three got together and discussed the matter. At that very moment, Dayapayana means Vedvyas arrived there in accordance with his wishes. Besampayana said, as soon as they saw him, all the Pandavas and the great illustrious son of Panchala stood up. All of them welcomed and paid their respect to the great soul Krishna. The great minded one returned their greetings and asked about their welfare. He then sat down on a radiant and golden seat, instructed by Krishna. The one with infinite energy, those greatest among men, also sat down on expensive seats, O Lord of the people. After some time, in sweet words, Parshata asked the great soul one about Draupadi. Drupada asked Draupadi's father, O fortunate Lord, how can one woman become the wife of many without leading to sin? Please explain this to us in detail. Vyasa replied, this dharma has fallen into disuse because it runs counter to the Vedas and common practice. But on this, I wish to hear the opinions of each one of you. Drupada said, in my view, this practice leads to a sin because it is against the Vedas and common practice, or best of the Brahmanas. Never can a wife of many be found, nor did the illustrious ones of ancient times follow such a dharma. Those who have wisdom should never follow such a dharma. I can therefore never convince myself of acting in this way. To me, this dharma appears to be of doubtful morality. Dishtidumya said, O bull among the twice born, O Brahmana, O one rich with austerities, if he follows the path that is righteous, how can an elder brother unite with the wife of his younger brother? The ways of dharma are always subtle and therefore we do not know the way in entirely. Thus, we cannot say what is in accordance with dharma and what is not. O Brahmana, we cannot therefore perform such an act with a clear mind. I cannot say that Krishna Draupadi should be the wife of five. Yudhishthira said, my tongue never utters an untrue and my mind never turns to sin. When my mind approves, it cannot be sinful. I have heard these ancient tales that there was a lady named Jatila in the Gautama lineage. She was chief among all virtuous women and consorted with seven sages, O supreme among those who know the path of dharma. It is said that listening to the preceptor is virtue, and among all preceptors, the mother is the foremost. She has commanded us that we must always share what we obtain. O best among the twice born, thus do I consider this act virtuous. Kunti said, it is as the virtuous Yudhishthira had said, I am pretended that my words might become untrue. How can I be saved from a lie? Vyasa replied, O fortunate one, you will be saved from a lie. This is eternal dharma. O king of Panchala, I will not reveal this matter before everyone. You will alone hear how this practice was established and why this should be regarded as old and eternal. There is no doubt that what Kaunteya has said is in accordance with dharma. Vaishampayana said, then the illustrious Lord Dayapayana Vyasa arose and taking hold of the king's hand went into the king's palace. The Pandavas, Kunti and Parshata Dishtidumya waited despondently for those two to return. Thereupon Dayapayana Vedvyas explained to the great soul king how it came to be that this man's marriage with a single wife was in conformity with dharma. Vyasa said, O king, in ancient times the gods performed a great sacrifice in Nemisha forest. There, Vivashvata's son was the priest who killed the animal, O king. Since he was consecrated in that role, Yama did not kill any creatures since death and time were suspended among creatures. The number of beings increased greatly. Then Shakra, Varuna, Kubera, and Shadyas, Rudra, and Vasus, the Ashwins, these and other gods gathered together and went to Prajapati, the creator of the world. Alarmed at the increase in the number of humans, they assembled and addressed the preceptor of the worlds. We are trembling with fear. We wish to be happy again. We have come to seek protection with you. Brahma replied, Why are you pretended of humans when all of you are immortal? There should not be any fear in you from mortals. The god said, Since the mortals have become immortals, there is no difference anymore. Upset at this equality, we have come to you to seek a distinction. Brahma replied, Vivasvata's son is now engaged in the great sacrifice. It is for the reason that humans are not dying. When he has single mindedly finished his sacrificial acts, death will again return among them. When that time comes, Vivashvata's son will be strengthened through your energies. When the time of death comes at the end, humans will have no energy left in them. Hearing these words of the firstborn god, they went uh, where two gods were sacrificing. When those immensely strong ones assembled there, they saw a lotus in the Bhagirathi. On seeing that lotus, they were surprised. Indra, chief among the warriors among them, went where the Ganga always issued and saw a lady as radiant as the fire. The lady had come there to fetch water and was immersed in the goddess Ganga, but she was weeping and uh, teardrops fell from her eyes into the water and became golden lotuses. On seeing this wonderful sight, the wielder of the Vajra went up to the lady and asked, Who are you and why are you crying? I want to know the truth. If you wish, please tell me. The woman replied, O Shakra, I am unfortunate and you may know who I am and why I am weeping. O king, I will lead the way. Come with me and you will yourself see why I am crying. He followed her and soon saw a handsome young man. He was surrounded by young women, was seated on a throne and was playing dice on the peak of the king of mountains. The king of the gods spoke to him, Know that his universe and this world are under my sway. Know me to be the Lord of everything, but the person took no notice of what he had said and continued to be immersed in the dice. Indra became angry and repeated what he had said. On seeing that Shakra was angry, that god cast a glance at him and smiled. At that glance, the king of the gods was paralyzed and stood motionless at the spot like a pillar. When the game of dice was over, he spoke to the weeping goddess, Bring him here. I will make sure the pride never enters his heart again. As soon as the woman had touched him, Sakra's limbs were paralyzed and he fell down on the ground. Then the god, with the fierce energy, told him, O Shakra, never act like this again. Remove this great king on the mountains because your strength and energy are beyond measurement. Enter the center of the whole and wait with the others who are like you and the sun in splendor. He rolled away the peak of the great mountain and saw four others who were like him in radiance. On seeing them, he was extremely saddened and said, "Shall I also become like them?" Then the god Girisha looked at the wielder of the Vajra with eyes dilated with anger and said, "O Shatakratu, enter the cavern, because in your folly you have insulted me in front of my eyes." Thus addressed by the Lord, the King of the gods, shuddered and shocked because of the curse. His limbs went limp, like the leaf of a fig tree stirred by the wind on the peak of the kind of the mountains. Shuddering at the god's sudden words, he joined his palms and told the terrible god, who has many manifestations, O Bhava, show me a way out today. Similarly, the god with the terrible bow replied, "Those who act like this do not find an escape. These others were like you and will become again. Therefore, enter the cavern and lie down there. There is no doubt that all your fate will be the same. All of you will have to be born in human wombs, having achieved great feats of violence there and having sent a large number towards their deaths. You will again attain the world of Indra through the merit of your actions. You will achieve all that I have said and much more." With varied significance, the earlier Indra said, "We will go from the world of gods to that of man. Salvation is difficult to obtain there. Let the gods Dharma, Vayu, Magavan, and the Ashwins beget us on our mother." Having heard this, the wielder of the Vajra once again spoke to the greatest of the gods. "With my semen, I will create a man who can accomplish this task. He will be my son and will be the fifth among these." In this good nature, the illustrious Lord, with the terrible bow, granted them the wishes they desired. He ordained that the woman, the most beautiful in the world, who was none other than Stri herself, would be their wife in the world of man. Thereafter, accompanied by them, he went to the god Narayana, who is beyond measure. He approved of everything, and thus it was that they were born on earth. Hari plucked two hairs from his body. One was white and the other was black. These These hairs entered the womb of two women from the Yadu lineage, Rohini and Devaki. One of them became Baldeva, and the second one, that was black, became Keshava. Those ones who were like Shakra and were earlier confined in the mountain Karvan are none other than the valorous Pandavas, while the Pandava Sabyasachi is a part of Shakra. O king, thus it was that the former Indras were born as the Pandavas, and the celestial Lakshmi, earlier ordained to be their wife, was born as the divinely beautiful Draupadi. She, whose radiance is like the sun and the moon, and whose fragrance can be smelled from the distance of one krosha, cannot have arisen from the earth. At the end of the sacrifice, she arose through divine interventions, O ruler of man. I will happily grant you a most wonderful boon. With this divine eyesight, behold Kunti's son in their earlier divine forms. Veshampana said, then the pure Brahma, Vyasa, performed of extremely generous deeds, have divine sight to the king through his ascetic powers. The king saw them in their earlier forms. He saw them divine and young, broad chested, and 5 cubits tall. So Vyasa hypnotized him, and then he saw divine form, adorned with golden garlands and crown and jewels, with complexion as radiant as that of the fire or the sun, each resembling Shakra, dressed in divine garments that were beautiful and golden, resplendent with fragrant garlands that were the best, the equal of the three-eyed god, the Vashus, and the celestial Adityas with every quality. On seeing the earlier Indras, King Drupada was surprised and pleased. With the power of divine Maya that is beyond measure, he saw that supreme of women, Sri, personified in beauty, splendor, and fame. He was her to be the right wife for those Indras on earth. On seeing this wonderful sight, he touched the feet of Satyavati's son and said, with a tranquil mind, O Supreme Rishi, for you this is no wonder. Vyasa replied, in a hermitage in a forest there were once the daughter of the great soul Rishi, who was beautiful and pure but could not get a husband. It is said that through her austerity she pleased God Sankara. Pleased with her, the god himself spoke to her, tell me what you want. Thus addressed, she repeatedly told the boon granting Supreme God, I wish to have a husband who is accomplished in every way. Then the god Shankara, means Shiva, happily granted her the boon and said, O fortunate one, you will have five excellent husbands. The one who had pleased the god said, O Shankara, I wish to have only one husband who possesses all the qualities. The god of gods, extremely pleased with her, again uttered these holy words, you have addressed me 5 times, asking for a husband. O fortunate one, it shall be as you have asked, you will have good fortune, and all this will happen in one of your future birth, O Drupada. So this daughter, with the form of a goddess, was born to you. Krishna, Parshati was uh, preordained to be the wife of five and remain unblemished. The divine Stree was born out of a great sacrifice to be the wife of the Pandavas. After performing severe austerities, she was born as your daughter, O King Drupada, that resplendent goddess, sought after by the gods themselves, was ordained to be the wife of five through her own actions. She was created by the self creating one to be the wife of these gods. On hearing this, act as you wish. Drupada said, O Maharishi, I shout to act in the way that I had said, only when I had not heard these words from you, I cannot act against what has been ordained. I wish to act as you have said. The knot tied by destiny cannot be united. There is nothing that results from our own actions. The rights set out for one husband must now become the rights for this rule. Since Krishna herself repeatedly asked for many husbands in ancient times, the great god accordingly granted her the boon. The god himself knows what is best. Since Shankara has ordained it to be thus dharma and adharma, I will commit no sin. Therefore, since Krishna is ordained to them, let them take her hand as they wish according to the prescribed rites. Vaishnampana said then, the great Lord spoke to Dharmaraja, O son of Pandu, today is an auspicious day. The moon has entered the constellation Pushya. Today you accept Krishna's hand first. At that, King Yagyasena and his son made arrangements for the wedding. He made ready a lot of wealth for the marriage. After she had bathed and had been adorned with many jewels, he brought out his daughter Krishna to witness the marriage ceremony. The king's friend and relatives happily come there with advisors, and many brahmanas and chief citizens crowd with those who had come for alms. The extensive festive grounds thick with lotus and lilies, lined with heaps of precious stones. His palace looked like the skies, studded with brilliant stars. Then the young Kuru princess bathed, adorned with earrings and ornaments, dressed in expensive garments and perfumed with sandalwood paste. They performed the preparatory ceremony, and other auspicious rites. O Lord, accompanied by their priest Dhaumya, as radiant as the fire, they then joyfully entered in due order and one after another like mighty bull entering a pen. Then the priest, who knew the Vedas built and lit the sacrificial fire and poured offerings with mantras. He then called Yudhishthira and united him with Krishna. Then the Veda, knowing one, married them, making them walk around the fire hand in hand. Then the priest took leave of that ornament of battle and went out of the palace. Then those Maharathas, bringers of fame to the Kuru lineage, sons of a king among men, took the hand of the supreme among women in succession. One day after another, the Devrishi told me something extremely wonderful beyond human powers. That slender waisted and great lady regained her virginity from one day to another. When the marriage was over, Drupada gave those Maharathas a lot of gifts, 100 supreme chariots adorned with gold, each yoked to 4 horse and golden bridles, 100 elephants with lotus mark on them, like 100 mountains with golden peaks, and 100 young maid servants dressed in expensive garments and adorned with ornaments and garlands. Making the fire his witness, the king of the lunar dynasty, befitting his might, separately gave each of those a lot of wealth, garments, and ornaments, and other riches. When the marriage was over and the mighty Pandavas, the equal of Indra, had obtained their Stri along with her great wealth, they lived in the city of the king of Panchala. Bisampana said, after his alliance with the Pandavas, Drupada's fears were dispelled. He did not even fear the gods. All the ladies in the great soul Drupada's household come to Kunti. They mentioned their names and saluted her with their foreheads touching her feet, dressed in a silken garment and with the marriage thread still encircling her. Krishna also paid her respects to her mother in law and stood before her palms joined. Lovingly, Pritha bestowed her blessings on Draupadi, endowed with beauty and auspicious marks and with a pure disposition and good character, as Indrani is to Hariheya, as Shabaha is to Vibhavasu, as Rohini is to Soma, as Damayanti is to Nala, as Bhadra is to Vaishravana, and as Arundhati is to Vasishta, as Lakshmi is to Narayana, so may you be to your husbands. O fortunate one, may you be the mother of long lived and valorous sons. May you be happy, may you be fortunate and prosperous, may you be strict in your vows and a wife to your husbands as the time of sacrifice. May you always pass your time serving your guest in the proper way. Holy men, the aged, the young, and your seniors, may you be anointed queen with the righteous king in the kingdom and the capital of Kuru Jangala. Let the entire earth be conquered by your immensely powerful husband and presented to Brahmanas in a great horse sacrifice. O accomplished one, O treasure of all virtue, may all the riches of the world belong to you. May you be happy for 100 autumns, O daughter-in-law. I bless you today on seeing you in silken garments. I shall bless you again when you have given birth to a son with all the qualities. After the Pandavas had taken a wife, Hari sent them many golden ornaments adorned with pearls and lapis lazuli. Madhava also sent them expensive garments from many regions, blankets, their skins, jewels that were beautiful as soft and expensive beds, seats, vehicles, and vessels adorned with diamonds and lapis lazuli. Krishna also gave them thousands of young maidservants adorned with ornaments, beautiful, accomplished, and brought from many regions, well trained and tame elephants, many excellent and caparisoned horses, and many chariots drawn by horse with large teeth and excellent colors, beds checked with golden cloth. The Madhusudana, whose soul cannot be measured, also sent them in a separate leap crores of pure gold coins in a desire to please Govinda. Dharmaraja Yudhishthira, who was filled with pure joy, accepted all this. Next chapter, Vidura Gamana Parva.